let's talk about selling on eBay 10 tips to get you started. So, a little more about me. I am Nancy, a freelance writer and a money coach, and my website is yourmoneymom.com. And this video is going to be a very brief summary of an article that I wrote about selling on eBay on my website, yourmoneymom.com, which you can refer to. I'll link below, so you don't need to take any notes. You can just look back at the article to get more details about it. So let's get started. Why you should. So it's a good idea to both declutter as well as earn some extra money. It can be very variable to sell on eBay, and let me also just say there are other platforms like Etsy, Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace that you can sell on, so you can apply a lot of these principles to those, but it can be variable, but it can also be a decent source of income. Also, why it matters. This is a good way from a money perspective to help you detach from belongings, and as well as just being careful with selling things and going through that process. And then a little bit about my eBay journey. I've been selling on eBay for probably 6 or 7 years. I've had innumerable conversations with friends about this is how I do it, and tips and tricks. And that's why I ended up writing the article, is so I could share the 10 different ideas I had, and that's what I'm going to go through here. I don't want this to be too long, so I'm going to really hit just the high points here. So first, beware of scammers, in particular people who want to, when you're a new seller in particular, you're a target for scammers who are trying to get you to sell them things off platform, meaning you're not going to have any protections provided from eBay or the online platform you're using. So obviously beware of that. And then the other rookie mistake is to send out items before they are paid for. So just be sure things are paid for before you send them out. 2 is to research sold comps, and comps meaning comparables. Very briefly, let me go over this. So I'm going to bring up eBay here, and if on the website I said, if you search for, let's say you have an LL Bean flannel shirt you no longer need, or you found at Goodwill or something and you want to sell it. Okay, we see there's about 3,500 results, and you can see, okay, they're looking in the $19 and $20 range. But what you can do is go down here, scroll down on eBay, and show only. And if you click here for sold items, what it's going to list for you, well, first of all, look at that. There's 3,300 that have sold recently, and you can see the prices that they sold for. So it's one thing if something is listed at $1,000, but have anything items like that sold for $1,000, and this is how you can look for that. You can research and see, and that gives you a really good sense of how much things go for, depending on if they're new or if they're vintage or things like that. So you can kind of look for an item that looks like yours and go from there. All right, so that's researching sold comps. Number 3, take good photos, but don't go crazy. You'll see a lot of eBay articles or YouTubers who talk about like, oh, you have to get this fancy camera equipment or do all these things. And I have found that's not the case. I just take pictures, in a sunny place, on a wood floor, or on top of a table. And iPhones and other smartphones take great photos in that case, but definitely all angles. Okay, number 4 is to measure and weigh your items before listing. So you put in your shipping amount and how much it weighs and what the package looks like, and that will help eBay calculate what your shipping is. I always add maybe like a pound in there, depending on how big or heavy the item is, to make sure it's going to cover the packaging material and perhaps the box, depending on how big the item is. And then the 5th tip is to list as buy it now. I know that auctions is how eBay started, and many times people do that. I find them very annoying, both as a buyer and a seller, so I only do buy it now. However, I do allow offers, and as you're putting a listing together on eBay, you'll see a way to allow people to offer things for you. Also, I think once you sell a certain amount, you can send offers to people. So if people have expressed an interest by watching your item, you can send them an offer. And I found that actually a great way to sell items. All right, 6 is to keep all your listed items in a dedicated area. So I think when I started out, I had like an old dresser in our basement that I had things in. I've expanded a little bit to some other containers or shelving units right by that, but it's just a small corner of our basement, and as long as you keep things together, it's easy to find them when they do sell. The seventh tip is to check eBay regularly, and just put it in your routine. So, for instance, I tend to check eBay in the morning. It's part of my morning routine. Just like, okay, has anything sold? Do I need to send any offers? Do I need to wrap anything up? And that only takes like 30 seconds if nothing has sold. Tip number 8 is if you sell regularly, consider a store. There are a lot of benefits to the store that I talk about in the article. And then 9, to keep track of your sales. If you do sell a certain amount, you're going to get tax forms from eBay or PayPal or and you're going to need to claim them on your income taxes. And so it's a good idea to do that. And then my 10th tip, this is a maybe, and it would be to focus on one platform. So there are people out there, and I know people who sell on multiple platforms. I find it easier just to focus on eBay. That just works for me, and particularly when you're getting started, that may be something to consider, like only do Poshmark or only do eBay, depending on what you are selling or have things to get rid of. Okay, and then next we're going to talk over resources for online selling, and I show these in the article. One is Scale is really good for weighing things, and then this is just there's a couple of links I had to show how to measure items. Oh, that's actually not the correct link, but in any case, how to measure like men's shirts or women's suits, those kind of things. This is a YouTube channel I discovered a while ago. I really enjoy her. This is Ashley, Hustle at Home Mom, and she'll give tips and tricks, and I think it's helpful for novices. And then finally, Not Your Dad's CPA is amazing. He himself is an online seller, I think mostly on Amazon, but he is also a CPA and has a course called Reseller Tax Academy, where he kind of goes through the tax implications of selling online, which, as you get more into it, you may find it helpful. He's very solid, lots of good information, well worth looking into if you get more and more into online selling. So final thoughts. Sell on eBay, sell online. It couldn't be easier. Part of it is you just have to get started, maybe make a couple of mistakes, and then you'll get better at it over time to where it'll become a very streamlined, easy process. As I mentioned in my article, I spend maybe a couple hours a week, maybe a lot less than that depending on the week, on eBay, and it's a nice little source of income throughout the year. I hope this is helpful. Let me know what you think.